I'm Greiner, and you've got the mother of invention.
What's your offer?
We'll go to the 35%.
Would you be willing to go 25%?
We'll take that deal and no negotiating. Right.
You're just starting, right? So I'm willing to take the journey with you, hand in hand.
You're telling us you're going to double your business, but what guarantee do we have that you're going to double your business?
Do you have any other product that has grown as fast as the Scrub Daddy?
No, ma'am. But again, we all have to understand, we were both business people, is that you're asking us to put millions and millions of dollars in based on a forecast.
We've done over $75 million in retail sales.
So we know, I think we're confident that we could guarantee that we're going to at least double, if not triple, our sales. I'm absolutely confident that we're going to be able to hit that number. We have strong, solid sales, and we're expanding not only in the United States, but also in Europe. I think we're going to be able to actually make as many products as we want to. To me, that just means that Scrub Daddy is going to have explosive growth. I look in terms of like what product didn't make it kind of thing, because really for me, it was always learning. So there were stumbling blocks along the way, like somebody might say, falsely want to take one of my products or one of my patents, so they'd file a fake lawsuit, or they'd do something in which to knock me off, and those were really hard stumbling blocks because I had to learn legal very quickly. I would have to fight things.
Did you take it personally at all?
Oh, sure. I mean, every entrepreneur gets knocked off, especially with their best products. And then, of course, you take it personally. It's your baby, so then you're like, no, I'll be damned if I'm going to let them take my baby. So those were some hard lessons. I don't think I look at them as failures. I look at them as roadblocks. For me, a failure in my career, because I was lucky, I had a very straight up trajectory. I think probably if a product that I really believed in and put a lot of money in failed, that was like, woo, that's a failure.
Yeah, what's the most amount of money you've lost at one time?
The biggest failure was I did this product. It was so funny. I thought it was so clever. And in my mind, I always thought if you do something, if it's really great and you give people a lot, like quantity, and it's good price, they'll buy it. So we had this like centerpiece collection thing that it floated candles, and it had regular candles, and it would hold fruit and candies, and it's hard to explain, but like twisted and turned into a million different things.
Sesame knife of.
Yeah, like 28-piece centerpiece, yes. And the buyers at QVC wanted it to go on pre-Mother's Day. And I said, in my gut, no, this is holiday. This is a holiday item. It's a centerpiece. Like, who decorates their table only at holiday, right? They said, no, great Mother's Day. So I didn't go with my gut. Had it be a pre-Mother's Day present, I think we brought in like 100,000 pieces, and I think I sold like 30 for one day. It was a one-day selling thing, and that was tragic. It was like, oh my God, what are we gonna do with these? And I felt like crap. I went home feeling like the biggest loser. And then, fortunately, they had to hold on to some of the inventory. We sold it at Christmas, and it blew out. So, lesson, follow your gut. I share certain bumps that I've had in the book. I think that, I don't like to look back. There are no mistakes, really. Everything is a learning lesson. Everything helps you to do better. Right. So I talk about some of the mistakes that I made, and it just helps you to get further along, learn from those mistakes, and get smarter. There is no difference, and don't think there is. You are as good as, if not better, depending, than men. And walk into that room, come out with that idea, I am equal, I am not a woman in business, I am in business. I just have a gut, innate instinct for knowing what people want. And that helps me to make the right decisions, often. And then I think probably that I'm pretty fearless when it comes to business. Things don't really faze me. I just think, what do I need to attain my goal? If something's an obstacle in my way, I'm going to forge through it. There's always a way to find a solution, and I find them. I make things happen.
You have to be driven, you have to be motivated, you have to have passion. You have to be somebody who, like I said, there are no no's. You know, if I have an obstacle, I go over it, I go under it, I go around it.
Right.
You just don't quit.
I go through it.
I go through it.
I had a great idea. I had no schooling in business. I had no entrepreneurship class or MBA. I just thought of one great idea. And then I had the passion and the drive to bring it to life. And so I'm thinking, like all entrepreneurs do, so I know many of you will be shaking your heads at this, we think our idea is the best thing ever and everybody's gonna buy it, right? Of course, nobody's picking up the phone for me, right? And eventually, probably because I annoyed him so badly, the buyer picks up the phone. And I had one sentence that I would say really fast, because you don't want to take up too much of your time, but you gotta grab them. And I said, I have the coolest new product. There's never been anything out there like it. It's an earring organizer. It holds 100 pair of piercer clip-on earrings, sliding earring stands. I promise you, I can show it to you in just 5 minutes. I'm gonna be in Dallas next week. If you will give me 5 minutes of your time, I'll set my clock, and if you don't like it, I will boot myself out the door. He says, all right, what do I have to lose? So of course I have no plan to be in Dallas, but I pick up the phone. So I had never set out to be a serial inventor. I just was like feeding this lion who kept saying, I want more. What else can you do? So I started thinking, well, I can create more. And I started thinking about what other products, what do people need and want? And the other thing is I loved it too, okay? So it wasn't like I was having to feed this hungry lion and I hated it. I got the fever. I loved making product. In my world, there are no no's. There's just how can I? So I'm sitting there for what felt like 20 minutes, but it was probably like 4. And if you could see steam coming out of my ears, you would have. But the moral of the story, the lesson learned, and the thing I really think is so important is never settle for what you're given. My entrepreneurial spirit flourished when I started thinking of ideas and then seeing them out there on the market, but I hadn't done them, someone else had. They were very successful. So when I thought of my earring organizer, I thought, this time I'm going to do it. And I did. I knew that women had no good way in which to store their jewelry. And it just came to me like a thunderbolt. And I went home and I drew it, and then I went to my grandfather's wood shop and I made it. After I made my sample, I did market research to see if people would really like it or buy it. I started calling every retailer in the country, let it ring 1,000 times until they'd pick up. And I flew myself to 21 cities in 18 days and met with different buyers and showed them my prototype. That first product was very successful. I made well over $1 million on it, and I started thinking, wow, there's lots of other things I could make. And I started making cosmetic organizers, I started doing kitchen gadgets. My goal was to improve people's lives with the products that I created. To date, I've created over 400 products, and I've generated $500 million in sales. Well, I love being on Shark Tank because I get to help other budding entrepreneurs, and it's very gratifying to me to help them become successful as well. My true feeling is this: no matter who you are, no matter what age you are, no matter the time in your life, if you have a dream and you have the drive, you can make anything happen. And if you are ever feeling down or feeling like you can't get over that hump, or you just have a bad day, I play this song, and you remember this song, okay? Here it goes.
Thank you.